This program is brought to you by Bell Beverages and Bourbon House and Coffee.
Hello there. Welcome to another exciting yet insightful episode on the Untold TV show, and my name is Irabna Boateng. I am super excited because I get to interview a mother figure, and she is doing so well. And you know one thing about Irabna Boateng is all about women empowerment advocacy. So watching her from afar inspires me a lot. She contested for GMB Ghana's Most Beautiful, and she is currently a presenter at MX24. I'm sure you know the person I'm talking about. But then let's go on a commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the Untold TV show. For those of you joining, and special thanks going to Bella Aqua and also Bourbon House Cafe for giving us the space to have today's episode. You can locate Bourbon just behind ANC Mall and get yourself both local dishes and continental dishes. My viewers, now it is time to unveil the guest for today's episode. MFA Mamaga. Or let me say MFA Akosia Adeti.
Perfect.
I made it. Oh,
perfect.
But I mean, how did you get the Mamaga?
It's just a title. So it's just like in the Akan setting, they'll say Ohema.
Oh.
Ira.
Okay.
So mostly in the Volta region would describe a queen mother. So the title you say before the stool name. Or more like Ohema. So just a title.
So you come from a royal family?
Yes, my father's chief.
Oh.
But it came some sort of by default during Ghana's Most Beautiful, where because you're mostly showing up like a queen, so there's a title of a queen.
Amazing. So can you take us through your educational background?
Right. So now I actually feel very old, very old because I was introduced as a mother figure already.
Okay.
Right, but so I had my very primary or my very basic education or nursery education in Latte Kiapim, where I was born. And then soon after, my father's a teacher, and so he had transferred to the Volta region, where he was teaching at Piki Training College. So, and then they had a demonstration school where I had my primary school. So I was at Gulfport demonstration. I mean, as a teacher, he moved from one place to the other. So I had my secondary education as well at Ho, Maoko Girls.
Okay.
And when I finished, I had my first tertiary education at Takoradi Polytechnic.
Okay.
When I finished, I had my BSc degree at Gimpa. And then I had my MBA at Gimpa. And then I'm attempting law at Gimpa.
Amazing. Amazing. So what inspired you to contest for Ghana's Most Beautiful?
I promise, nothing serious. It was a joke from the beginning.
Oh.
It was all a joke from the beginning because I was in school. Each time that the show was airing on TV, I would be in school or I would be in company of people that knew that we're in school. And so it was not something that I nursed. Even though they always said that when I was younger, I had, the traits of a beauty queen. I would walk like one, talk like one. So I always say that maybe my uncles and then my family members try to put it in my memory. So that, that's our beauty queen. That's our beauty queen. And so I knew that it's possible, but it wasn't something that I was planning my life around until I watched it on TV the year before mine. Subsequently, the years before mine,
Yeah.
I watched it and said, but I can do this. Wow, I can do this. What is in there? They said a car. I said, what else? They said a crown. I said, what else? They said some cash. I said, wow, I can do this. I can win this. Yeah, and also the following year, I attempted to do it.
So, I mean, I'm sure you went through some form of training to know more about your region.
I'll be honest, no special training, because my father is a traditional leader. He's
Okay.
So growing up, you have that very traditional way of living at home, and a very typical Ewe mother who do things the way an Ewe mother would do, or typically a Ghanaian mother would do. You help them to cook. You still have to go to school the way everybody would do. My father would do some traditional stuff at home.
Yeah.
I saw that when people visited him, the thing that very traditional people would do, they would pour libation. That was it. The way he spoke to them, the way people were welcomed. So it was my way of life already. That's how I was able to relate to it when I watched it on TV.
But I mean, growing up, what did you want to be in future?
Truly, I had an idea that I just might be a broadcast journalist. My mom tells me that I thought I'll be a doctor.
Okay.
I always said I was going to be a doctor. But up until the time I was very civil enough to know the difference between every profession, I just knew that I was going to be a broadcast journalist and a lawyer. I wasn't so sure of it. But yeah.
So I'm assuming that you did general science in high school?
Yes, general arts.
General arts instead.
Yes, sorry.
So it means that the passion for being a doctor ended before high school.
So much blood. I couldn't stand blood.
Ooh, just like me.
So I think they should have just told me that being a doctor is really not about taking the decision because you saw blood. Because now I'm loving the sciences very much. I do.
I think growing up, my dad would say that, look, considering the fact that you are so slim, I would want you to go into pageantry. And now that is the perception that most Ghanaians do have, that before you go into pageantry, you need to look a certain way, you need to have a certain physique before you are accepted into pageantry. And looking at you, I mean, it's like, oh my God, is it that it's just a misconception, or there are different types of pageantry that will fit each type of physique?
Good question. Now, so true. Well, when I won, I wasn't like this.
Yes.
This is over like 12 years. Wow. So I was nearly, maybe a quarter or half of this size, but I've grown. My pelvics are actually ready to carry a baby, I guess. I guess. Yes, I will not dispute the fact that weight is some sort of a requirement. Why? Because pageantry came with a certain requirement. It was in our culture. It's something that we imported. You know, if you watch the Miss Worlds and all of that, they're quite daring with their culture. So it will be the bikini stuff, the photo shoots and all of that required a certain body. I don't know why they set that standard. But in Ghana, the typical African woman is very endowed, and our culture now puts a certain, restriction on it, where if you're going to go into very strict pageants and how it is done outside, and if we're going to import it the way it was, then you're going to have like very endowed women wearing bikinis and all of that, which really you can't have any control over, because then if you're adopting it, you might as well adopt it with its requirements. So what a lot of people did, like what TV3 Ghana's Most Beautiful did, was take the beauty pageant, keep the pageantry part of it, and see what else we can toss it around to do with. This is why you have a beauty pageant, but that welcomed our culture and tradition, if you understand what I mean. So yes, the requirement is there, but at some point it wasn't becoming so much focus for certain type of pageant.
But would you say pageantry is doing so well in Ghana lately?
Somebody would say that because you have grown and you have outgrown that stage and the desire for it, you're not going to look at it as though it's so important. I say that it has become one of the many tools of women empowerment. In the past, it looked like just one major women empowerment tool. Now it has become one. I say this because in the past, you wouldn't have an era hosting a show
exactly.
like this.
Exactly.
Because she didn't have anybody to look up to. So then we created the pageantry platform to empower a lot of women. But now women are engineering, they're doctors. Women are taking up a lot of challenges, and they really do not have to go through the pageantry route to be it. So it is not doing entirely as it was supposed to be doing, because now it's become CSR for certain companies, corporate social responsibility. It's become an entertainment source for some companies and all of that. So it has become one of the many tools that you can use to empower women, but not entirely it, if you understand.
Yeah, I get it. So would you say that in order to get into media, I have a passion for media, but especially with the fact that you do not have any certificates that is journalism related, it is a bit difficult getting into the media space, or maybe you do not have anybody that will pull your hand that, okay, I'm taking you into this media house, intern with them and work with them. Would you say pageantry is a way of bringing some form of fame to young ladies so that they can venture into certain careers that they aspire to venture?
Yes. So I won't say that it brings you a fame to just go into media, because there are many of them. I've got friends who are doctors who went through beauty pageantry. Remember some years ago, Miss Ghana was Miss Ghana was the one who got to Miss World. She's a medical doctor. Sato is a doctor, and there are many others who have had to use the beauty pageant platform to branch into their field of study or their field that they desire. But it is true, it propels you, it launches you to where you want to go. But it does not say that because it is in the media, it propels you to be and stay in the media. It rather propels you to achieve your own dream.
So it brings some form of fame. Whatever thing
it brings your own attention.
Okay.
What you do with the attention is what becomes the fame.
Okay. Yeah.
You can have the attention and not be famous. I'm not famous.
Are you sure?
I make a conscious effort not to be famous, because that's not the desire.
What's the reason?
I want my works to be famous, not two separate people.
But what's the reason for that decision?
I just can't deal with too much.
Ooh.
Yes.
I mean, this one is so funny, because some of us are actually praying for it. Others are hiding away from it. Yes. Doesn't mean I'm actually praying.
I make a conscious effort, because that's not the desire. But there was a little exercise we did before we went on air. I aspire to do that, but not necessarily on television or in the media space. If you're going to teach somebody, you can teach them without being famous.
Exactly.
If you're going to inspire somebody, you can inspire them without being famous. So I want the works to be the one that's famous, but not the person. But it's hard to separate it. But I try. Try.
But you think that the youth of today, we are so inclined on getting famous? Because with people will go to programs like Date Rush because they want whatever thing you're doing to be out there. And I was listening to, was it an influencer? I wouldn't say media personality, an influencer. And she goes like, during the days where she was doing decent things to get fame, she wasn't getting the fame. But when she started exposing some parts of her body, that was when the fame came. So do you think the youth of today, we are so hyper about being famous?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because it's what you have been introduced to.
Okay.
So if you're growing up and you see that people who are famous are the ones making it, supposed and supposedly, that's what you desire. You cannot desire something you don't know. You cannot desire something you haven't seen. So what you have seen on TV, on social media, in front of the magazines and listening on radio is what you can desire. So it is what we have put out there for young people to see. To say that, okay, I want this so much because this is what will give me what I want. Yes, there are many people that would have to expose themselves to get the results. It works. I know many other people who didn't have to expose themselves and that they got the results.
It works. She's all covered. Yes, though she is out there.
So it's basically your preference. You can be whatever it is, but if it's not innate, to want to expose you, not expose you.
Exactly, that is very true. So what are some of the challenges you encounter being, or maybe you still encounter being a media personality?
Plenty of it. That people think that you should be and seem what they see you on TV as. That's different. because a painter is a painter only when they're painting. When they're walking in the streets and going to buy watching, they're not walking with their brushes and their buckets of paint.
That's so true.
Right? A driver is only a driver when they're driving a car.
Yeah.
So the challenge is people think what they see on TV is you. But I have an entirely different personality. It is so entirely different so much that people get shocked.
Yeah.
But I don't allow it to be a problem. I manage it in the background. Another thing is that media is highly it's very volatile. It's not you can't calculate it. It's not 2 plus 2. It's what the people who determine what media is what they want at a particular time. So you can be the best as anything as a media personality. But if it's not what people want at the time, there's not much you can do about it. So the control that you don't have. You can have some control, but not an absolute control. That's one of the challenges. Another challenge will be having to manage it with your personal life. Because it's just so it's all mixed up.
Yeah.
It's all very intertwined. Your sadness is somebody's source of entertainment. This is why a blogger can pick something that really is breaking you, and it becomes a source of traction to their page because it's the source of work for them. And yet that's your pain as a media person. So I can go on and on and on, but I guess yeah.
I mean, we'll go on a commercial break because I'm curious about asking you why you went into entrepreneurship, but we are going to do that after the commercial break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining in, just know that we are here with the GMB Queen 2012, Miss Emefa Akosia Adeti, and it is the Untold TV show. So back to you, Emefa. So what will make a media personality doing so well in media space think of going into entrepreneurship? At least leave it for those of us that we are unemployed.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Well, as you've said, as you may have heard, multiple streams of income really doesn't hurt, and it also depends on the cost that you carry.
Yeah.
If how much you make and the impact you're making in media is enough for you, why not? But mine came because of my route into media. It came through a beauty pageant that required some sort of community, giving back to community, which actually now put a certain level of responsibility of me, both family, internal, nuclear and extended. And so media alone definitely was not going to affect that much. So I had to come up with something that can support myself and also support my family. Just like every other reason a person would have to want to start a business on the side that you do. That is why I went into entrepreneurship. Multiple streams of income.
Okay, so you focused on hair business. Why hair business?
Firstly, I had great challenge with my hair when I was growing up. My mother would take about 3 days to braid my hair because it was very much, it was a lot, and it was heavy, it was very, very coarse, just everything that every child didn't want. And yet I love the beauty part of it. So I'll cry throughout when she's making my hair. But when she finishes, I just dropped it gorgeous, like I just came from a magazine. And so it made me learn more about hair. I didn't like the scale of going to do it, but it made me read a lot more about hair. And that learning extended my interest in anything that looks like hair. And if you're going to go into entrepreneurship, you might as well go into something that you have passion for, so that when the turmoils come, you find some rest and peace in the passion, so it keeps you going. It will come with some challenges, but the passion will keep you going. So I chose it because then I like beauty stuff.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. And how was it going?
It's tough. I failed many times.
How did it, I mean, when did it start?
20. First of all, I started a year after Ghana's Most Beautiful. Ghana's Most Beautiful in my car boot.
Okay.
Very much.
So how are you doing it? You open it up and maybe you go on campuses.
Actually, I remember that I'll have it in my car. Some of my friends will buy it, don't pay.
This issue.
Because sometimes they'll say, oh, but you're a beauty queen. You shouldn't have a problem. And you know, I voted for you. You know, you haven't paid your votes back and all of that. I mean, but I was young.
Yeah.
I didn't understand business. It's just the desire to get a multiple stream of income that was pushing me. I made lots of mistakes. I'm still making them and I'm still learning from them. So I would say informally from 2013, 2014, but officially when it became like a real business will be 2019.
2019. Oh, wow. I mean, initially I thought you were an ambassador to that brand.
Yeah, I like it like the I like that. I like the impression that I created with it.
That's not the instance, okay? So she owns it.
I like that.
And I mean, the hair, they're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Truth be told. But I think some of us, we've not gotten to that level yet to start affording for.
You can. I mean, a lot of people say that, but you did a beauty pageant that says that you should love yourself, cultural stuff. Why are you into hair extensions and all of that? And I'm telling them that a woman's glory and beauty is in their hair. And if you don't have it naturally, and you want to enhance it, it's just like wearing a pair of jeans. There's really nothing wrong with it. Because then we also deal with your real hair as well and how you can nurture it, how you can grow it. A lot of people see my short hair and they think it's a cup. It's my hair. I cut it anytime. I learned from how it was giving me a lot of troubles, and so why now I can share with people. But you can, because this is beautiful. It is.
It's giving.
Yes, it is giving.
Thank you. Okay, so I mean, you started with your dad being in the royal family and you as well being in the royal family. So with the assumption I'm getting is you are from a well-to-do family.
I'm glad that I have the opportunity to correct this. He's not from the Ashanti Kingdom or whether it's gold. If you have any ever friends, ask them.
Okay.
The chieftaincy system in the Volta region does not carry the amount of wealth because, you know, chieftaincy is quietly ownership of, you know, land, properties and all of that. And we don't have that. We don't have gold in the Volta region.
But I think the Volta region has vegetation.
I mean, but how much vegetation can be divided among all the chieftains there? I mean, as being custodians. But what I mean is that the Voltarians would have somebody who has gone beyond all the odds to live a certain life in society and make them a chief. But they barely would. It's not because you're rich. My father was just a regular teacher.
Okay.
I don't want to say I come from a poor home because I found a lot of richness in the very basic food that my mother would give to me. I was just a child living, but it's not the case at all. I come from the very small home where you have to wait for your school fees, like you have to wait on it. If she has to do susu, she has to do it. Yes. I mean, yeah. And he was just one person carrying the shoulder of a lot of family. You know, we do a very much extended family in the Volta region.
Just like the Ashanti region.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But no, not at all. Not so, yeah.
So things were a bit tough for you. And how did you deal with that?
Honestly, I didn't know any other life to compare it with.
Okay.
Do you understand? If my mother gave me cake with pepper that evening, I'm happy to eat it because I didn't know anything else existed outside of that. You'd have to live a certain life to have comparison. So I don't know what life you're talking about. Are you talking about salad? You know, it's what was given to me. It is the joy in the difficulty that my mother was still and my parents were still coming through for us as a family that I admired.
I think I get where the humility comes from.
Right.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm going to learn from this sincerely. So, what project did you work on during JMB?
Okay. Now, before I went to Ghana since before, the community that I come from, which my father was the chief, that community didn't have a lot of young girls going to school.
Oh.
In fact, it was shocking to them that a young girl from that community can even go into beauty pageants and be very expressive, because it wasn't very common. There was high rate of teenage pregnancy and all of that. And so going in there, I thought that I would champion that. Another thing that inspired me also before I went in there was that I had friends who discovered some strange illness called chlamydia and all of that. I read about it and it was very fascinating. I asked a few of my friends, do you know about it? They said no. Do you know about it? They said no. I said, oh wow. Then when I get the platform. So I had so much, a tall list of things that I wanted to do. Until when I entered the pageant, I had an eye-opener. There you're dealing with statistics, you're dealing with data. And in that year, there was high rate of maternal mortality.
Okay.
And that was a person issue. I thought chlamydia and the many other things could wait. We can use a platform to champion, maternal mortality. So when I finished, one of the things I was doing, encouraging the girls to go to school, the community tours, and giving them reasons why they had to go to school. And then the teenage pregnancy was accounting to the number of high maternal mortalities. So then we had to draw the link and let them know.
Okay.
So what we did was to give some empowerment, some sort of empowerment to young people, young women who could not afford it. So with the help of Abby Creation, we trained many girls in fashion school, and now most of them are fashion designers, they have their lives and all of that. Women in the communities who could not even afford national health insurance. They couldn't, national health insurance. We put most of them at the time, put about 500 women and children that aged on the insurance scheme and renewed it for those who didn't have their card renewed and all of that. And then every now and then we get to empower young people. If you want to go, if you show the interest to be empowered, you're very welcome. And then we'll just attach you to any empowering facility and get empowered.
So I think you are given a year to carry out your project.
Not necessarily. You have a crown to be able to maneuver your way to get things for a year.
Okay.
But when you hand over, your project still lives.
So is it still living as at now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Some people recently just graduated from NVTI.
Wow.
Yes.
So do you pay for their fees or you get sponsors? Considering the fact that the crown is no longer there, how is it? Is it easy getting sponsors?
Even when you have a crown, it's pretty not easy to.
Like I don't mean it.
Yeah, because there's so much that corporate Ghana or people who are ready to sponsor, they have options. They have a lot of choice to choose from in the sponsorship trail. So it's not it's not given that when you have the crown, they would have to sponsor you and all of that. Some people just believe in the effort and they come along with you. And it teaches you how to learn to share. So that if I receive my salary at the end of the month, I'm not about to save that salary and go around looking for another sponsor.
Exactly.
The idea is what you can do with a little. So if I work and I had a salary, I had a percentage that every time I must invest in somebody or something.
Wow.
It may be very small, but I just to feel that you're doing something until you're giving back to society that believed in you, for them to contribute their 50 pesos, 1 CD. We voted, put it all together to say that we are going to wait in the back. We want you to go forward and get the opportunity for us. So when you have it, why not give it to somebody?
So with the disease that you noticed that people had no idea, what did you do?
What happened was that it wasn't, the data was not a very scary data.
Okay.
Because you have very limited resources to pursue a project. So if you have very limited resources, you're not going to pursue a project that is not an emergency.
Okay.
So at the time, the emergency was women, maternal mortality. We shot a documentary. We went up north. It took me to very rural places and how women didn't even know that they would have to go to hospital when they were pregnant. People having children at home, which is the very traditional way, but they attach traditional beliefs.
Okay.
There are some communities that you can't even have, you can't even menstruate in that community because because of the
water region?
Yes, it's some of the water region.
Wow.
There's some people, the beliefs of it, the things that I discovered, what you discover on the journey of your project creates branches to other things.
So can you enlighten us about the disease that you...
Well, so I'm not a doctor,
but you can enlighten us.
So it's safe to say that it's a sexually transmitted disease.
Okay. The name again?
Chlamydia. And has it behaves very much like candidiasis.
Okay.
So some people say it is an upgraded version of it. So it's an infection that inflames it's something that's happening around the woman.
Okay.
And if not treated very well, if you have a child, the child can go blind.
That's very serious.
I know, but how many times did you hear that?
Yeah, so but this is my first time hearing media.
Yeah.
I think you have to be a doctor.
I love
really
science.
Have to.
I do love science.
You really have to.
I do love science.
Wow. So I mean, I think this should be looked into regardless.
I mean, now there are many other sexually transmitted diseases. You work with data, which is very worrying. I mean, now HIV transmission is very high and all of that. So we don't have a lot of resources and a lot of opportunities. When you have the opportunity, you talk about the very prevalent ones. And I think HIV now,
it's on the rise. Crazy. Please abstain. If you're watching, just abstain, all right?
Or better still, buy a condom.
Or buy. Are you listening? Buy it. Okay. So, maintaining privacy, okay, can be very challenging because I mean, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on this. So sometimes we tend not to. We forget that aside the media space, you have a private life. How are you able to deal with these? Like, okay, hello, this is my private life, respect it. And when it's media, respect. How do you get people even close to you?
I think maybe my name, MFI, has an impact on me. It means eternal peace. I like I like everything that's peaceful.
There's one MFI I know. She's
not saying
the production assistant of this show.
Well, if people say that
internal war.
People even say that you MFI, you say you like peace, but you're not peaceful. But I like to think very innate of me is very peaceful. I don't like very chaotic stuff, and I don't like people in my business so much. Why? Because it is the only place I have all the control over.
Okay.
My space and my privacy is my safe haven. So when I destroy it, I'm destroying my own self. So I make it, everybody who knows me would know that I make a conscious effort. I'm almost on all of the social media handles, but my social media handles are all directly or indirectly work.
Okay.
If you watch me now and you go back and you pay attention to my social media, I may be running, I may be laughing, I may be dancing, but it's all very work. It's work-related stuff.
It's work-related.
It is my... If not for the fact that I did Ghana's Most Beautiful and it extended into my family, I'm not sure a lot of people will know about my mother and my dad. My mom, blessed memory, she passed years ago.
My condolence.
Yes. Otherwise, growing and appreciating what privacy can do for you, I'm very much concerned about it, and I make a conscious effort to protect it.
Okay, let's go back to high school. I mean, the way Auntie MFI is looking all quiet and sober. I'm just wondering, were you like hardcore in high school? You were so quiet.
I wasn't so quiet neither. Okay. I was the one that if the teacher didn't come or missed the lecture, I was the one that would go and stand in front to introduce people who have talents. I didn't know that was very innate about me. So I would more of emceeing. I would create something at the time and do. So I wasn't a hardcore. I had a cousin who was always being reported to my dad because she was always jumping the wall and going to town. And when they come, they'll say, MFI, your sister. I heard that. But I never really gave my parents trouble. Neither did I give, juniors and colleagues trouble.
You didn't punish them?
If you did something worth punishing, I'm quite a disciplinarian. I think I take that from my dad.
Okay.
Quite a disciplinarian. And even now, I think when I'm going home, some of my cousins say, oh, boo. I have that. She's coming. I have that. But it has to really be worth it. If you deserve to be punished, why not? Justice must be.
If you deserve to be punished, why not? And that's all. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching the Untold TV show on YouTube, and you know that my name is Irabna Boatin, and I'm here with Emefa Akosia Adeti, GMB 2012. Okay, so at a point, I wanted to contest for the Eastern region. Oh, because I'm Eastern region and Ashanti region. Yes. And I think last year a friend of mine contested. That's Amweni, and she did so
great girl.
Yeah, so I mean I could have gotten someone to nurture me for it, but it's the fear of people saying that when you go for GMB and you are very beautiful or you are very good, there are certain influential people in the country that tend to vote for you, and after make certain advances or propose something that you are not comfortable with. Is that really true?
Okay, I mean, first of all, I really wonder how you're gonna say yes to something you're not comfortable to.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Man, no.
That's the thing. If you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. But if you like it, there's nothing absolutely wrong with it. Every man, I think, likes the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, and men do not walk about with telescope wanting to know your true behavior.
Yeah.
But I like to think that 13 weeks on a TV show, reality show, because in the past it was really, really a reality show. They pick camera, you can have people's reactions on what's happening in the reality complex, conversations and all of that. So if a man sitting in their corner observes a young woman who is shown a real talent and intellect over 13 weeks, and they're very convinced in their mind that, okay, because I like this woman, I'm going to vote for her, and after that, hope that she can like me too. First of all, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just like how a woman can be on the street and a man can stop and say, hi, I like you. It's very okay. Unless, of course, we've heard that they coerce, they force the women, or it is some sort of a threat to their life that, okay, because I voted for you, because you have, it's not surprising that you look beautiful or you have done something that looks nice for a man to want you. But it is all not okay if you're forced into it. And I do not see in any way which part of the pageant allows them to force themselves in it. I've never seen it before.
But did you really encounter that?
I won't say that I encountered. There's so many reportages about me. If you went on to read about me, which is something I really do not address. But given that I get this question a lot, you don't have one person, just one person cannot vote for you to win. It's a collective responsibility. And even after you have had somebody voting for you, you still have to put in the effort and the work, because the vote really does not make you win. So surely it put me in the limelight where many people who are quite influential. Oh, that's kind and thoughtful of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So it put me in a position where I'll be seen. And that's given, I wasn't under 18. I wasn't underage. I was a little above 20 when I went in there. So it was okay that I'd have people, people who think that they have supported you. And it's not because they have supported or voted for you, but it's because the proximity to seeing you and knowing you has become shorter. So they know and they appreciate you better. And they want you for another purpose. You say, no, yes. There's no gun to your head.
I'm sure I'll say yes.
See? Choices.
Exactly.
Choice matter.
The influential people, so probably see, it's easier said than done. You can just say that. I'm not going to say no, but trust me.
Yeah, it's very much of a choice.
If you encounter it yourself, you might end up saying a yes.
If you like it.
If you like it.
If you don't like it,
exactly.
You're not going. There's nothing good happen.
So I mean, based on the reportage that you said that came out about you, how did you deal with them? Whilst you talk, let me just help you.
Thank you very much. Very kind. This is all like bougie, where I can actually just put the bottle, leave it here, but they brought a glass and a straw, so why not? Yes.
As for me, I'm doing the Bell Bond.
Oh, thank you.
The Bell Aqua.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did I deal with it? I just didn't feed into it, because there was so many wrong stuff reported. I just didn't feed into it. If you ask me and I like you and I think you deserve some clarity, I'll clear all your ambiguity for you. But if I think you're enjoying basking in whatever you may have heard about me, I'm okay. It didn't sway me. When I finished, I was a reigning queen when I went back to school. I was in class. I was wearing a crown, going to class.
In class?
Yes.
We're supposed to wear it all the time.
When I say wearing my crown, I was wearing the title.
Okay.
It's still going there. I did group works the way we're supposed to do. I got to class the time I was supposed to be to class. I wrote exams the way you're supposed to go to exams. I was not any different person. I was just a girl wearing a title.
That's amazing. For sometimes, hello, I'm a queen.
I know.
Lecturer, don't talk to me like that. You know my queen call.
It happens in the movies, not in the real life. They'll sack you.
So, what are some of the insecurities that you encounter, and how do you deal with such insecurity?
I think my father and mother raised quite
I like the fact that MFA is enjoying our juice from Bebon.
Maybe I'm starved. Thank you. I'm hungry. Thank you. But I think my parents raised quite a confident woman.
Okay.
My parents were very intentional with me. So they were very intentional, and they knew how they wanted me to turn out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm trying not to disappoint them. And so, insecurities, I rather had fears.
Okay.
And one of them happened, and I'm living with it anyway. My greatest fear was to lose my mother and my grandmother. And it happened. And I thought I would die, but I'm still living.
But I mean, considering the fact that your project after JMB was related to women, and the fact that you had the fear of losing your mother and your grandmother, I can equally conclude that you are a women empowerment advocate.
Yeah. Anything that empowers women.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you should help us. You should help my NGO sometime soon.
I'll be happy.
You have a project, but let me just say it on air. This is a project coming on. We'll be doing a school tour at Methodist Girls. So it'll be so good to have you as a speaker.
That'd be nice.
This is so nice. She can't say no.
There's a camera off me. So when we take the camera off, I'll say, But thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're welcome. And we are so grateful that you've accepted to be a speaker for this tour. Yes, we are so happy. We are tackling on entrepreneurship, leadership, and also data security.
That's a huge one.
Yes, so it'll be so good to have you. Yes. All right, so now we are about entering into the fun part.
Okay.
Yes. And because you are MFA from the Volta region, it will be so nice to learn something Ebe or Ayibe. Right? Ayibe. Is it Ewe?
It's Ebe.
It's
Ebe. So, so the alphabets in Ebe are quite different from the regular alphabets.
Okay.
But because these alphabets are not duly represented, we import the English alphabets and writing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. But if you wanted to write Ebe, it would be E with a certain alphabet that looks like a U, but has a little bit of a longer tail.
Okay.
All right, before another U. So that would be Ebe.
Ebe.
But we replace it with a W. And that's why you hear a lot of people say Ewe.
I hear people say
Ewe. And I mean Ebe. And I'm more for me Ami family.
Oh, come on, would they do that?
I know.
Maybe the Northerners, or they have because some the Northerners that pronounce my name Abina. I went to a Tamale and I was like, please, Alaji, please, it's not Abina, it's Abena. Abina. I'm like, oh my God.
It's just how phonetics, as a country, we have different types of pronunciations and enunciations.
My home people, they'll say brown bread. Masa Elec, Pachmame brown bread. Shout outs to my American friends. Okay, so now you're going to teach me a song in your local language, and I just pray I don't disgrace you.
I pray I don't disappoint myself. Yes, because it's one thing knowing how to speak the language, and another thing trying to teach somebody something else.
Okay.
I'm not too sure, but I know that I like Yesue Dojade. Ejoya wodo amanake watewachiyo. Yesue Dojade. Ejoya wodo amanake watewachiyo. Tonye wo miva mijo mia Yesubo. Lemia wodo na Yesu. Chikamega chomia po mauka doa de onye. And I'm in Kaya.
So we'll start from the top so I can sing with.
So no, you don't have to learn all of that. Okay. Just the best part of it. So Yesue Dojade.
Yesue Dojade.
Yesuwe dojade.
Yesuwe dojade.
Wow. I think I'm for bro.
Oh, wait, I was able to see me go too far.
Yesuwe dojade.
Dojade.
Hey.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yesuwe dojade. Yesuwe dojade.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. Yesuwe dojade.
Yesuwe dojade.
Joya oto madake matengachio.
Enjoy the
Opa for penny paper brand next time.
Okay, so let's do something different. I said, "Good man, you must have." Oh, but your voice is really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so let's do something different in a way. Teach me maybe, how are you? Or maybe I love you, or sometimes you say it.
Oh, let me teach you that I love you.
Mellow.
Sister. All right. Well then that's it.
How about I hate you? There's somebody that I hate, so I can tell the first after the show.
I'll teach you that one.
If I love you is mellow, I hate you is meho. I got it.
Meho is majo.
Majo. No, menjene.
Yeah.
Meho.
Melon is just, it's fine.
Okay.
Just take to melon.
Melon.
Yeah.
Let me teach you something in French.
Nice.
I love you would be je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Let's not go further.
Je t'aime.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
To say merci.
Merci. Oh,
merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. I did so well. I'm sure my French teachers in Alliance
Française are proud of you so much.
Me pen a French in high school. After high school, me Alliance Française for still not mentor French. No. So please, if you know you are good at French, just send me a DM on Instagram, okay?
I can't really believe that you lured me to believing that you can speak. Wow.
No, the thing is, I don't get people to speak it with.
I understand. A lot of people who are trying to speak international languages are trying to speak Spanish, but you don't get people to speak it unless you meet somebody who So I understand, and I appreciate the je t'aime.
Yes. It's actually cool. And my name is Irabna Boating. Yeah, that's like my name is Irabna Boating.
Oh, that's different from Je m'appelle?
No, the same thing. It's just like saying my name is Irabna Boating. The name is Irabna Boating. I am Irabna Boating. You get it? Hey, I'm not a French teacher.
Because when you're crucially to say means, you know, Ojojo me.
But you know, most times you say the others.
Yes, you got that.
Yes, are good at French.
Well, because most of them live close to the border, Aflao, and by the time you're going into Togo, the intertwining into culture and into languages, it's easy that they speak French.
So when you say most of them, why you not part of them?
It's very we're not in crying.
And it's what's in crying?
Yes, you know.
Okay,
I speak about 7 languages.
How many? Mention them.
So you know that the Ewe, there's 3 types of it.
Okay.
There's Anglon, there's Vedome, and there's Tong. So that's 3 of it.
I know that.
Yes, my mother is Anglon, my dad is Tong. And then we lived in the Vedome, so I speak all the 3 types of Ewe. And then the Chi, surely you know, I can't. Ikapim, Infanti, I speak all 3 of that. And then I speak Latin language, that's Guan, Till Yukete. Until Yukete. How are you? And you say Meyo Ballet.
Meyo Ballet.
Hey, wow.
Like ballet.
Yeah.
Ballet dance. Meyo Ballet.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Amazing. I mean, do you intend to do any international language?
I love Spanish.
Okay. Why do you love Spanish and French? French is really nice.
I'm told. Maybe I attempted French and it sounds a bit too difficult for me.
Well, that's very...
Yeah. If given opportunity, I'll learn Chinese as well.
I
love it.
It's actually correct. It makes you look so beautiful and you look good in African prints.
Why don't I believe you?
I can repeat it if you
say it again.
So. Okay, so as we're about wrapping up, what advice do you have for those of us watching? But you can take your juice before you.
Me Jackakrana as a Miraban, Manu, why? As a Miragumenu. Well, it's difficult to give advice to somebody whom you can relate to their personal situation, their aspirations and their dreams. And so you can't just sit on TV and dish out advice and hoping that it will land well. But I'm hoping that one or two persons watching us today are able to take this advice and at least rehearse it and see if it will work for them, which is, there are two things that life would give you. Your choice and the one that life will give to you. The two things. This is how I see it. Two things. The one that life will throw at you and the one that you choose. So, life gave me the opportunity to be Ghana's most beautiful. Life gave me the opportunity to be a TV personality. Life is giving me the opportunity to sit here. But I have choices. My choice is to be an entrepreneur. My choice is to go to school. My choice, those are entirely your decision, where you have absolute control over it. Do not sacrifice one for the other. Do not sacrifice one for the other, because sometimes life stops, life ceases, and this is where you have to put your choices in. I'm not going to be on TV forever, but by the time
this is like the second time you're telling me this. Earlier was at MS24.
I said that.
You're like, won't start saying you're ready.
You have to learn, yes, because you can't sit on it forever.
You
know, life will give you other responsibilities, so you have to actually give way for people to also continue where you've started from. So identify the one that life is offering you, and do not lose sight of your own power to make your choices. That's all I want to say.
Wow. I mean, this is a speaker for our tour. Methodist girls, are you ready? Oh yeah, we are coming live and colored. Okay. So I mean, what's the name of your hair brand? I mean, if somebody's watching and would want to patronize you.
Okay. So we're Hairs a la Mode. Hairs a la Mode. You can find us on the East Legon Hills stretch, right after the Malcolm. We're located over there. We're also very present on social media.
Okay, that's incredible. Students will get promoted here.
Students are my friends.
I'm coming.
I'm a student too, so if I can't afford it, you can't afford it. I can't sell what I can't afford.
So we have levels of types of students. We have students and we have students.
Yes.
My student is different from your student.
You see the job you're doing? I do that in the morning and I'm in class in the evening. So tell me the exact difference between you and I.
Mine? I mean, I'm working.
You see? You never know. Maybe it's borrowed. Wait.
Are you sure? I'm not sure you drive a borrowed car.
That's true though. If I don't have it, I'll pick a regular car, commercial car. Thank you for having me, Ira.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best on all of your projects.
Alright, thank you so much. So, viewers, thank you for also watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you to my production team, Mr. Bafo, the production assistant, MFA, who came late today, and also the executive producer, Stacey Ankara. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you to Bell Alpha, and thanks to Airborne for giving us the space to host today's episode. See you. Bye.